Hey everyone, welcome back to Alone in the Dark remake. Boy, you would not believe what I had to work through to get myself all the way up to this point again. So, I did the World War One trench scene because I wasn't going to repeat that again. I already have that on the other video. But I worked my way up to exactly this point. We're going to redo this whole section with starting with Emily finding her husband John, and then we're going to do the steamboat section again. Since it's a relatively quick section, we don't really need to spend too much time on it, so we're going to do that one again. And then we're going to try to get to the finale of the game. We are going all the way, no matter how long it takes. I did the, I thought that bottle was floating in midair for a second. I did the, empty room first so that we avoid that damn bright light glitch, so we should be good to go.
Oh, come on.
We already did this scene before, but I want to show the full emotion of it, so we're doing it again. We're gonna do it again. I've been playing Silent Hill 2 Remake mostly, since that glitch kinda sapped my enthusiasm for this game. Just a little bit, just a tad. Yeah, we can't exit out this room until we check out the last cutscene.
That's better.
Derceto entombment plans. Technical drawings detailing how parts of Derceto will be sealed off.
Closing the Refuge, June 17, 1919. It is with a heavy heart that I must declare the Derceto Refuge to be harmful beyond saving. As an emergency hospital, we have over the last 2 years treated hundreds of patients suffering the so-called Spanish flu. Unfortunately, our mortality numbers are unforgivable. While the influenza in itself was often successfully treated, many died of fungal infections and sudden acts of violent madness. In order to dismantle the refuge safely, building engineers will survey what parts of the house are especially contaminated by the peculiar rot discovered by Jean-Batiste. The rot is believed to be the main perpetrator in spreading the deadly fungal infection, but also the cause of the incurable madness. The most afflicted rooms will then be sealed permanently to create a cordon sanitaire. As the dead seem to exacerbate the spreading of the fungal infection, all bodies that can't be cremated by tomorrow will be forever entombed inside Derceto's sealed section. The refuge was never meant to be permanent, and as the influenza epidemic seems to be in decline, it stands to reason that we shut the facility altogether. Many brave volunteers have helped for very little pay to treat those in need for almost 2 years, and we are forever in their debt. All surviving patients will be transferred to other medical facilities around New Orleans as soon as possible. At the end of the summer, we should be able to leave Derceto to recover. Dr. Isaac Herbert.
Dr. Isaac Herbert. Imagine if his name was Dr. Isaac Hibbert, like The Simpsons. So it was Batiste who discovered the rot first. And it's like the mode from Resident Evil 7 and 8. Only they don't know that this mode has a supernatural explanation. They just think it's just regular mode. Nothing in there. What about What about over here? Got some bullets. Alright, let's go check out this morgue over here. This is a puzzle we have to do. But I don't think we had the necessary files yet, just yet. I think we need more. Oh yeah, because we haven't gone in the boat yet.
I need the key.
Okay, so we need a key to open that door.
Emily was back at Derceto, but sealed inside a part of the basement that was no longer in use. This was clearly a mistake. Emily had confronted her trauma. She deserved her freedom to carry on with her work on the contract. This prison felt like an insult, like the dog man was cheating her. If he wasn't going to honor her progress, then she was on her own. Of all the paperwork left inside this place, there had to be some document showing her a way out. She just had to figure out what the rooms were and how they were sealed.
Okay, so we do have to do that puzzle with the documents there. But I think we need one more or two more documents to do it. I don't think we have all the necessary papers just yet. Here we go. There's the rest of them. Now we can put them together. Why didn't it open before? There we go. Got it. Okay, let's see how this went again. I think the one with the doctor's note is at the very top page. No, the folder's at the very top page. Let's rotate that one. I believe this T shape is over here. This one is up here. Okay, so which one is not correct? There we go.
What's that?
John Marcus. Here we go, the moment of truth. This is where we find out what Emily's trauma is. You've already seen before in the previous video, but we're gonna see it again just to get the full emotional effect.
$2.17. Oh, John. I didn't know this is where you would end up. I didn't want to know. I stopped visiting you because I couldn't stand the indignity of your awful illness. I was ashamed of you. Ashamed of myself. Forgive me. Please, John. Let me go.
That's messed up. She abandoned him in the hospital. So she wasn't quite as nice as she appeared at first.
Are we done here? Is this what you wanted?
Yep, you passed the test. That's what he wanted. He wanted you to confront your guilt and sins. The truth.
John Marcus died at Derceto of the Spanish flu. Emily stopped visiting him because she didn't want to see him waste away. She adopted a lie because it felt better. Emily hated the pathetic man that passed away in Derceto, but she was very proud of the man she made up. A man who died a martyr in the trenches of France. This must have been the true trauma that the dog man specified in the contract. But why was it Emily's and not Jeremy's?
It's because he and what's his name, Carnby, are the only ones that can stop the deity that the cult is trying to raise. Like, Jeremy's too far gone. So that's why even though he made the contract with him, Jeremy can't really honor it anymore. No! Goddamn! Wasted some fucking health. Ah well, we needed it anyway. Because the spiders are going to deal some damage, so we had to heal up anyway. Keep forgetting up is to raise the map on the Silent Hill 2 remake, not here. And then here it's a triangle to... Is the map triangle? I don't remember. But yeah, up is to raise the map on the Silent Hill 2 remake. It's also ironic because we're playing Silent Hill 2 right now, and that game obviously deals with illness and tough personal relationships, so that one and this game have a lot in common. Okay, so now we actually have to go back to the attic. We already got the France key. I already used that to get the health. And the other thing that was in there, I don't even remember what was in the globe, but I got it already. So we just gotta go up to the attic and put the piece of the statue up there. Yeah, so we solved this puzzle, which was how we accessed the morgue in the first place. Yeah, so let's go back up. We're gonna find more health in the steamboat anyway. That needs a key. I believe we emerged from that door after we got up to the steamboat. Yeah, so let's just go back up to the attic. Now that we did things in the proper order, we should be able to avoid that bright light glare that we got last time.
I guess I never got a chance to look around this place.
Yeah, because it's a death trap. If we do it out of order, that's why we can't look around there. We have that weapon there, but I think we're going to stick with the pickaxe for now. Is there any other health we can get? And you're basically trying to build a tree. It looks like a worm, but it's actually a tree. There we go. Use the talisman to open up Jeremy's mind. So the funny thing is, in the original Alone in the Dark, Jeremy's already dead from the moment you get here.
What's this?
See, there we go. We got some more health. Nothing to it. He's already dead, so I don't even know how that game works. All I know is I was reading up on it after watching the 2008 Alone in the Dark, and it is very different from this, so I can also understand why people might have been somewhat dissatisfied, because they were expecting a full-on remake of the original, and it's more like a reimagining of the original, combined with elements of 2, because not to spoil things too much, but Grace isn't even in the original. She's in the second one. And Carnby is pretty much the main protagonist. Like, you can play as Emily, but it's mainly Carnby who's considered the canon scenario. So it is quite different from how things go in the original compared to how they go here, which I guess is one more reason why some people were dissatisfied with it. They thought they were going to get the full experience of the original just remade and better graphics and stuff like that, and what they got was kind of a reboot for the series, which with a blend of 1 and 2. That being said, having read about the original story, I can kind of understand why they wanted to reboot it, because that story is a fucking mess. Maybe it's because I didn't experience it, you know, back in 1992 or 93. But reading up on it now, without playing it, that story is a huge, gigantic mess. So I can kind of understand why they wanted to reboot it with a more darker theme, you know, like a Lovecraft theme. Because it sounds goofy as hell based on what I read. Where's the noose? That's over there. Yeah, that's where you found him in the original. He was already hanging, dead. He committed suicide. And what's funny is when we get that cutscene later on between him and the doctor saying that, oh, everything that's happening is because Frederick told him to kill himself and he didn't do it. It's because Frederick is the original creator of the series. He's the original creator of the Alone in the Dark, the first game. And so by Jeremy not dying there, things take a very different path. Here we go. Back on the damn steamboat.
This feels familiar somehow.
Hello? Is anyone there?
Jeremy, where are you?
I'm stuck in the mud and the fire is taking me.
Jeremy? Can you hear
The
me?
motor is dead. I can't do anything more.
Hang on, Jeremy. I'll get the boat running. I'll get you out of here.
Yeah, it feels familiar because we've been here before. So in case you're wondering, this is actually like a metaphor for Jeremy's mind. Like this boat apparently never existed. Or rather it did, but he just read about it. He was never on the boat. But he's using it as a metaphor for like his fracturing mind. Like he's kind of stuck in there and he can't really do anything. But you know the spiders are around here. Really? Those spiders are goofy as hell. They look like alien necromorphs, or like the face huggers.
The boat is run aground, crashed right into the bayou. If I get the motor running, I could try backing into the river.
I do want to do one thing differently than I did before. We're going to go down here first, because we never went down here before just to check this little area, and we ended up skipping it entirely. So I do want to go over here first, just to see if there's any items you can pick up.
Jeremy, where are
Yeah, see, we had this section over here. We never picked this up. Broken compass. Oh, and there's a treasure chest. See what's in. Let's see what's in there. Bullets. All right, so nothing too big, but we avoided this section before, and it came back to bite us because we weren't able to get those items. So at least we have them now. So let's go activate that motor so Jeremy's mind can get moving again. Yeah, so when we've been going through these different areas, you're not really going to a different dimension. Rather, you're going into like his mind, basically. I guess his mind is manifesting in a way, as if it were another dimension, but that's how it's playing out. I do find it weird that we have all these brightly lit areas in a horror game, though. It's weird to see a horror in the daylight. There is a room here, one of these two rooms, where apparently we can't do too much melee, or else it'll kind of glitch out the game. So we gotta be careful to fight outside, but not inside. Oh, there they are. Oh, it's stuck. Where is it? I hear them, but I can't see them. I see it. Alright, let's go ring the bell. No, I guess we can't. Can we go down here? Really? Two-hole pistol bullets. Reminds you of Silent Hill 2 Remake, where you get like 4 bullets, 2 bullets at a time. You never get a full set. Hey, there's the Dark Man's mask, the palette mask. Opera playbill, palette mask, map of Caribbean. I think that Pirates of Pontchartrain thing is supposed to be like a homage to the original Alone in the Dark and Alone in the Dark 2, where there were actually pirates involved. That's why I say that story's kind of goofy, because there's all sorts of pirate lore in there, and like the main villain is actually a pirate. I had no idea. Not that it was some Cthulhu monstrosity. No, it's a freaking pirate. Which I'm sure was fine for 1992, but we're not in the 90s anymore, so people kind of demand more from their horror games.
The winch seems to be powered by electricity. Maybe I can find a way to turn it on.
Can we just jump down? This reminds me a bit of the boat section in The Last of Us 2. Just a bit. Did we go out this door already? Trying to remember where did we turn that damn power on? Maybe it's down here.
I can break this. I just need some...
Oh yeah, it is down here. There we go. So I just came back from winning a pretty good minor bet on Monday Night Football, so that's encouraging after disappointment on Sunday. Hopefully we can keep it going. But man, the Buccaneers got hammered there. Some guy probably broke his leg, another one got his hamstring injured. They were just trying desperately to win the game, but they just might have sacrificed their whole season to do it. One of the announcers was saying, at what point do you just call it quits? Basically, like, at what point do you just give up this game and live to fight another day, like he said? And
I think it just needs a field run.
they chose to push it, and it might have been exactly the wrong choice. Because now their two pretty much best players are both severely injured and probably out for the season, so that's probably the end of their season. Sometimes you gotta know when to call it quits. Alright, we got the gas can. Survival horror games and always getting gas. The same thing in Silent Hill 2 Remake. You gotta track down gas for the hospital basement. There's always some gas tracking mission. Even in Resident Evil, some games you have to get gas. There's always some type of fuel you have to find to power on something. Silent Hill 3, it's a standard trope by now. You gotta find fuel to power something. Some type of old machinery. Alright, we have fuel. I wish you could move faster while aiming this. There we go, it's playing the carnival music now. Oh, there go the damn spiders. Nice, 2 shots. Maybe it did do a bit of damage. Yeah, I wish you could move a lot faster while holding down the Molotov button so that you can actually, you know, get to your destination and throw the damn thing instead of having to wait 5 minutes. Because this is very slow. There we go, just set it on fire right there. We're gonna get more bullets, so might as well use them. Screw that, we're heading for the boat. Forget those spiders. Oh yeah, look at them trying to grab you on the boat. They're not too bad, I suppose. They could be worse. That could be those annoying fuckers with like the wobbly arms. Got a pipe. Got some bullets. More bullets. And more bullets. Exactly what we need. Should we grab the shovel or stick with the pipe? There's a brick, but there's nothing we need to hit with it right now.
I'll try.
Jeremy?
Are you ready to tell me what happened in the attic?
What's happening?
I put a rope around my neck, and then I strangled all life from my body.
Uncle!
Are you under the impression that you died? Yes. No. I was supposed to die.
What does that mean to you? That you were supposed to die?
I'm the catalyst. I had to die to make the story happen.
Story? What are you referring to, Jeremy?
30 years ago, Frederic needed me to die.
Jeremy!
You're not making any sense, Jeremy. Come back. Find your focus.
There we go, that reference to Frederick.
I cheated everyone. I didn't play my part. I escaped my doom. Destiny!
Again, find your focus.
Jeremy!
Now everything is wrong. Nothing is in place.
Hey, listen to me! We're gonna drown!
Calm down, Miss Hartwood. You're not in any danger.
But... Jeremy... He was here, wasn't he?
Miss Hartwood, I am beginning to suspect your family curse is catching up with you. Have you ever talked to a doctor about your condition?
No. No, I was just confused. I thought I saw him for a moment. I'm fine. I'll let you be.
Miss, I want you to know I'm here to help, if you need me.
It's funny that the doctor's trying to gaslight them when he's in it the whole time. He's in on this whole cult thing. The gaslighting jackass. Pay Dr. Gray a visit in his apartment. Alright, we gotta go snoop around his apartment. Damn, I was just about to press up again. I was just about to press up again to go and down another health drink. How do we get outside there? Let's see. So good thing we do not have the bright white flash. All we have is just nighttime. Okay, so how do we get back to where we're supposed to go? Plaza and the servant stairs. Let's see. There's a mezzanine. Yeah, we gotta go to servant stairs. Okay, so that's locked. It almost seems like that bright flash was a result of the lighting changing there. You can see it's supposed to be, I guess it's supposed to be this shade of purple because it's nighttime or dusk, but then it just got warped into that weird bright light instead. But at least it's okay now. Oh yeah, there he is right there. Let's go snoop around. Doors are opening by themselves now. Getting closer to the truth. See, there we go. Normal coloring.
Lock the door, will you? I'd rather not run into dear Dr. Gray if I can help it.
This feels strange. So very strange.
You okay?
This place? It's like something from my childhood.
It's just a private study of a very peculiar man.
There's that smooth jazz. We all know Persona invented jazz, right? There was no jazz before Persona 3.
I think this is it. I'm properly mad.
You should be. Dr. Gray's playing with fire. Derceto's a powder keg of loonies, all ready to play their part in a murderous cult.
So basically, the other person does not see the supernatural stuff.
The Heartwood curse is caught up with me.
I'm sure you're exaggerating. Try to focus on whatever you've been doing.
Right. Breaking the Dark Man's contract. Does it even matter anymore?
Ironically enough, I read a little bit of background lore after I saw someone finish this game for the first time because I wanted to see more of it. I wanted to find out more about what's actually happening. Apparently, their slight insanity or mania, as they call it, is actually the only thing protecting them. That's why they're not as easily influenced by all the supernatural stuff. So even though Jeremy was seeing that therapist, it's actually maybe not even insanity, not insanity in the traditional sense, but whatever afflicts them is actually the only thing protecting them from the Derceto's influence.
There's a book missing.
So this is a case where you'd rather be mad than not because it's the only thing protecting you.
A secret door.
Looks like it.
Careful. Let me go first.
Reminds me a bit of this movie, this demon movies I saw like a month and a half ago on Shudder. I forgot what it is, but it's the movie with the demon epidemic, and where apparently once the demon gets placed inside the mind of an autistic child or autistic teenager, it can't process it because it's used to human mind working. It's used to human minds working a certain way, and it doesn't understand it, so it's basically helpless as long as it's trapped inside him. This kind of reminds me of the same thing. Their mania, as they call it, that runs in the family is actually the only thing offering them further resistance against the supernatural stuff here in Derceto. Otherwise, they would have been down with the cult ages ago.
Great job, Emily.
Look at that, there's the cult symbol.
This
It
has
looks like
something to do with the numbers for the talisman.
It is the talisman, but as I said before, it also looks like the Dark Reaper emblem for Soul Reaper. That's what it looks like for Soul Reaper 2. Okay, we got a locked closet.
The Snake Dagger, a monograph by Yael Klein. In Ludwig Prin's book on pagan rituals called The Mystery of the Grave, as translated by Nicholas Vachy, there are several references to a sacrificial dagger called the Snake Dagger. It has long been thought of as a poor translation of the original text, that it would be more appropriate with worm dagger from the Latin vermis cultrum. This seems natural following the recent consensus that the original title of Prin's book, De Vermis Mysteris, should literally translate to the mystery of the worm. However, this would take away from Vachy's great effort at translating the underlying meaning of the words and revealing several cultural beliefs. While Prin certainly was using the term worm as a symbol or synecdoche for death and the dead, which is made clear by the contents of the book, in the case of the dagger, we shouldn't be too hasty to dismiss his translation. Reading through Vachy's correspondence with his patron, it appears that he had more than just the Latin text at his disposal. Vachy had dug up Prin's living relatives and uncovered several cross-referenced historical texts and an actual snake dagger. The dagger was dated to the early Middle Kingdom of Egypt and had such a clear shape of a wave that Vachy considered calling it the sinusoidal blade. Knowing the full story, it seems prudent that he chose to translate it as snake and not worm. There are several reasons why this choice of word helps us understand the pagans that Prin's book attempts to describe. The symbolic value of the shape becomes more apparent when reading about the use for the dagger. In the passage of possession and exorcism, we find the snake dagger poisons the poisoner within the victim and is therefore pacified. Where the literal text would tell us that the worm dagger trumps the demon possessing the victim, it tells us nothing of their reasoning, only that somehow this dagger wins against the demon, like it had the better hand in poker. Vachy's translation allows us to follow the underlying logic to the ritual magic that is being performed. Poison the poisoner sounds like fighting fire with fire. That to hurt the demon possessing its victim, the priests would have to fight back with a power that is known to the evil they are fighting. The snake dagger is therefore not only a good way to describe its form, but it also helps us understand how it could be thought of as a useful tool for exorcism. Finally, it also helps us understand their relationship to lunacy, that it was thought of as something poisoning the mind rather than controlling it. What is also interesting to note is that the possessed are always considered poisoned in their head and not their heart. The snake dagger always went to the eye of the possessed, leaving them partially blind, if they had the good luck to survive.
Is that the worm from Beetlejuice? The big giant worm from the desert? No, so basically what it's saying is we need that worm dagger to basically first to access this wardrobe, but secondly we needed to fight back against whoever's possessed by evil in the mansion.
Good to finally meet you, Mr. Hartwood. I'm here on the behalf of your brother Philip. You were expecting me, weren't you?
Yes, you're from Derceto, no?
That's right. I just wanted to ask you a few questions to see if there is anything I can do to help you and your family.
Okay.
I understand you're full of imagination. You make up a lot of things.
I suppose.
And you obsess over them, blurring reality and fiction.
Sometimes.
Do you want to tell me about the Dark Man?
No, I don't.
That's all right. Perhaps there is something else you can tell me. Something you know to be made up, but you hold dear.
Juan?
John? Who's John?
No, Juan Luis Jorge. Oh, wait there a moment. Here, take a look.
Is he... Oh, he is the author.
It's a magnificent book. Life-changing even. The real Juan is long dead, but I like to think of him as my friend. My most beloved friend.
I see. Do you often do this? Fantasize about people you read about?
No. Well, there is Jacob.
Who is Jacob?
Turn to the last page.
Oh, it's a newspaper article. The Prisoner of Ice, Jacob van Ostad. Is he also your beloved friend?
Oh, no, Doctor. Not at all. He is the fire that fights fire.
Yes, I think it's clear your overstimulated imagination, this mania, needs to be tempered for you to live a normal life. I know your family calls it the Heartwood Curse, but I want you to know that there is nothing supernatural about your condition. It's all inside your head. And with that, I'm very qualified to deal with. In time, you will be cured.
In time.
Yes, in time we will exorcise all your demons, all the dark men.
Yeah!
Please, Mr. Heartwood, calm yourself.
What happened?
Oh, don't you worry your little head about it, Miss Heartwood. Your uncle and I just had our first breakthrough.
So that was the first session she attended with him, or the first session he attended.
Found anything?
Oh, Dr. Gray's in so deep, I knew it. He's as mad as his patients. I mean, look at this. She who can till the soil of this sick world and begin again, the black goat of the woods with 1,000 young. Absolute insanity.
See, I knew it. He was involved all this time, but he wasn't the Dark Man. He's just a regular cultist.
I have the strangest sensation that this is somehow Jeremy's room.
What? No. This is Dr. Gray's private quarters.
I want to apologize, Detective, for my elusive behavior tonight. I'm glad you haven't given up on me and my uncle yet.
Ah, you got nothing to apologize for. In fact, you've been out of my hair for most of the evening, you're self-reliant, and you've been helping with your own particular brand of investigation. As far as I'm concerned, you're an exemplary client.
Thank you, Edward. Mr. Carnby.
Alright, let's go get that key. I believe that's the an homage to the point of view from the original Alone in the Dark, that fixed camera angle. That's why everything suddenly feels weird in here.
Should I even be doing this? Do I want to know?
Use paint thinner on your uncle's painting? Why not? There he is with the dagger.
Jesus Christ, why would you paint this, Jeremy? What on earth possessed you?
Now that's part of an ending that we can try to get, but we're not going to get it right now. I'm actually going to make a save.
Oh God.
See, look at that. Submit to the Dark Man. We are not going to submit to him. This ending, but I'll make a separate save just in case. There we go, the furniture key.
I can't believe I didn't see that before.
There's nothing there, but we do have a mysterious phone call. They also added a mysterious phone call to Silent Hill 2 Remake. I guess it's a pretty well-worn idea in horror. You know, a phone call from somebody you don't recognize.
Hello? Who's there? Jeremy?
Jeremy is with the Dark Man. You can't save him.
Jeremy is with the Dark Man? Where? Who is he? What is the Dark Man?
The Heartwood curse. He will come for you too.
Man, fuck the Dark Man. He ain't shit. From what we've seen, all he can do is just spread fog. Alright, what's the code for this thing? There we go. We're going to the Arctic now. Apparently we're in Greenland. Or what Jeremy imagines is Greenland. So before I thought it was transporting you to some type of alternate dimension. But no, it looks like it's just Jeremy's envisioning of this Arctic scenario.
The telephone ring, right?
No, the telephone's cut off. I tried calling the police earlier.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
See, so he doesn't see this at all.
Hey, Mr. Carnby?
What?
Nothing, right?
It's a closet?
That's right, Detective. I'll see you later. I have to finish this.
You're going inside the closet?
I know what it looks like, but I can't explain it, much less justify it.
Alright. You do what you have to do, miss.
Goodbye, Detective.
But the funny thing is he still figures out on his own that the cold is actually really dangerous. He just mentioned it now, but he's still not all that shocked by what we're going to see at the end, so... I guess he already figured, even though he was calling them insane, he already figured there was something else than just a dangerous cult here. Okay, so since we're not going to submit to the Dark Man in this one, we're going to make another save. Which one should we override? Should be the... I guess we override the first one. Let's override that thing. The coast of Greenland. And I guess we'll make a separate one. You know, let's do the cemetery. Let's just override the cemetery. There we go, we got two now, so we can use, if we want, because I believe we're gonna get this cutscene right after we beat the boss here. We can do one with the normal ending now, and then maybe if we come back to this game eventually, I'll do the ending showing the submission to the Dark Man. But that'll have to be its own video, because that means we'd have to replay the final boss fight and do the last chapter, and that's easily another half hour, so we're just gonna do it this way. So we're not actually in Greenland surveying the remains of an ancient temple to the old ones. This is just Jeremy's interpretation of what he read in a newspaper article. Got the flare gun. And supplies. So the idea is you have to use the flare to find your way through, but actually you can just keep heading straight forward and it'll actually do it for you.
We found the ancient stellarium perched on a cliff facing the Arctic Ocean after a day of sailing due north of the Eskimo encampment. Jacob van Oostad was our most keen member of the expedition. He had been chasing down the source of a peculiar type of crystallized metal present in several sacred items among the natives on the northeast coast of Greenland. The site was a remarkable find for any explorer, and we were all enraptured in our search for enlightenment and meaning. The surviving architecture seemed almost unearthly in origin and astonishingly sophisticated. The metal Jacob was searching for was abundant, almost ubiquitous. We were so taken by our find that we were surprised by the sun falling below the horizon. As we quickly picked up our gear, ready to head back to our camp, Jacob van Oostad declared that he wanted to stay. He was adamant. We begged him to reconsider. The night would be getting colder by the hour, and we feared for all our safety. Jacob refused, threatening us with violence if we wouldn't leave him alone. As the snowfall turned heavier, we left him there on his own. The next day, the weather became worse, and we had to spend hours enforcing our shelter as our tents became increasingly useless. The group had written off Jacob, thinking he must be dead. I had an urge to make one final attempt to save him, so I headed out as darkness fell with a handful of flares and headed toward the coast and up the climb towards the Stellarium. That's when I saw him, transfixed by a burning sky, that celestial lantern. Jacob keeled over and let out a painful shriek that struck me with such fear and pity. He was crying in agony, for the cold weather had ravaged his flesh. I called out to him, and he turned to face me. His vacant stare held me in place like a needle through a butterfly, and he said, "You must leave now, Herstan. Go, and never come back." And so I left.
Yeah, so I find it kind of disappointing the temple might not actually be real. You know, this imagined temple to the old ones here. I find that much more appealing in stories when the temple or hidden city or whatever is actually real, you know? Because we know the old ones are real here, but the thing is that the temple itself may not be. That may be just an invention of Jeremy's. And the whole thing is a metaphor for him being trapped in the ice. You know, he's trapped in the cult. Or his mental illness. So that's kind of disappointing, especially because of what we see at the end. I'd rather would imagine that it actually is exactly like the Mountains of Madness, where you do have that ancient temple or ancient city at the edge of... Over there is Antarctica, but over here is Greenland, the Arctic. Yeah, so the idea is to use the flare to light your way around, but you could easily find it like that, you see? You just gotta keep running forward and you'll find it. Just keep moving forward. Keep pushing forward. There you go. There's the stairs. I still gotta play that Cthulhu game eventually. The first one, Dark Corners of the Earth. Gotta figure out how I'm gonna play it though. I think I'd have to install it on the old Xbox 360. Play it there, that's the only option. Oh, I got an ice pick. Yeah, let's use the ice pick. It has more range than the pipe. Unlike in Silent Hill 2 where the pipe is kinda crappy. It's kinda shitty. Oh, look at the Borealis effect. There it is. The giant ancient whirly gig. Spinning machine. Spin-a-majig. What would you even call that? And there's Jacob. Long since reduced from his humanity.
Who are you? What do you want?
Emily, you should not have come.
Oh yeah, he's got the Cthulhu face. Like the guys in Bloodborne. Where'd he go? There you go. That's it for Jacob. We should use more of the pistol bolts. We got a ton of them right there. This looks so cool. I really wish it were an actual place in Greenland in this universe instead of just being Jeremy's imaginations of what he thinks is actually there, or like a metaphor, because it's just so cool looking. There we go. Let's light up the old ancient machinery, the ancient UFO.
If the Dark Man is going to be in the middle of an existence, Jeremy, then at least set everything up.
Alright, we're almost there. Let's put together the Big Dipper, or whatever this thing is. Is it Taurus? Is that the constellation Taurus? That was the one on the puzzle at the manor. There we go. UFO activated. We gonna take off? Jeremy has all this stuff in his mind. That's a complex mind right there. Oh, now he's mutating into wiggly armed Cthulhu. Somebody compared it to those flying flappy things that you have outside of gas stations or car washes. I can see the resemblance, definitely. Alright, come on, wiggly arm man. Yeah, we gotta shoot him and stab him with the dagger for maximum damage. Okay, so they obviously want you to use a machine gun. Ooh. This is so goofy. But at least we have a full cartridge. It would help if he actually had more attacks. You know, if he could actually do more stuff than just wave his arms around like a fool, it might actually help make him a bit scarier, more intimidating. At least you can actually... God damn! At least you can actually see him now. Let's grab all the machine gun bullets we can. Alright, let's finish him off. Goofy looking frozen thing. There we go, stab him in the eye. Then we crashed all the way to the temple, the lounge, the stage, Taorella, the monastery, or the convent. Oh damn, we stabbed our uncle in the eye. Well, at least we didn't blind him completely, you know?
I don't understand. Why are you here? I did everything.
So this is where we have the option to submit.
What else can I do?
We're not gonna do the submissive action. See, you see it right there? It's on the prompt in the lower left-hand screen. We're not gonna do it here. We'll do it in the next time.
It did work. That's why you're coming after me. You're in my head now. In that case, I hope you enjoy your stay.
Emily, stop!
Don't worry. We got you.
Also, she wasn't dressed as the Dark Man there, because in Carnby's scenario, Lottie's dressed as the Dark Man, which calls into question whether he really exists. But here they did it differently. I'll discuss that in a moment, about what I think is going on.
Are you alone? Or is he in there with you? Miss Hot, what is up?
Heard you almost painted the foyer with your own blood and guts. Good to see you still in one piece. Stick around, will you? It's going to be an exciting night.
Good to see you made it, miss. And all that ruckus, Lottie gave you a healthy dose of that sleeping juice. Wasn't sure you'd be waking up again.
What happened?
You had a psychological breakdown. Tried to shoot yourself. Sorry for the manhandling, but we just wanted to save you.
You also stabbed Jeremy in the eye.
Is he alright?
He's a little strange, but everything else is back to normal.
Really? I broke the pact?
I don't know what you did, but it worked. Let's see you standing up, miss.
Jeremy, are you okay? I'm so sorry for hurting you. How can you ever forgive me?
Emily, I missed you so. I do hope you'll stay with me for a while.
Uncle, what's wrong? Is it anesthesia? He seems so meek.
I wish that was the case. It turns out that you managed to lobotomize him. It's actually quite impressive considering your technique.
This is permanent?
You sacrificed a piece of his mind to save the whole. It's a little like treating a bad knee by cutting off the leg. It's blunt, but it works.
That's terrible.
Perhaps. But at least he won't suffer anymore. Do you remember the Dark Man, Jeremy?
Ah, yes. Where did he go? I hope he is doing all right.
You see? With a violent stab, you made any future treatment quite redundant. I assume you will be bringing him with you back to New Orleans.
I will. I just need to find Detective Carnby.
Back to normal. They were gonna do it to him anyway. The doctor already mentioned it in his notes, so we just expedited the process. Now, one thing, there's a lot of discussion about whether the Dark Man is real, whether he's a figment of Jeremy's imagination, whether he's a metaphor, whether he's the cultists are using the image of him to manipulate Jeremy because of what we see in Carnby's scenario. I think what's going on here is what people suggested, that a heavy rain should have been, where depending on your actions, the killer can be a different person. It has a different identity than just being the guy who it is in the original. I won't spoil it for you, but yeah, so a lot of people have suggested that's the way it should have played out, that based on your actions, you change the story, you determine the identity of the origami killer. I think it's the same way here. I think depending on your actions, the Dark Man is either real, and he's this ancient, not even just magician, because remember that they mentioned that Lovecraft deity, Nyarlathotep, or whatever you call him. So he's either something more, he's either an actual dark god, or else he's just a symbol that the cult is using to manipulate Jeremy. So I think it depends on your own actions.
Back to normal. Everything was back to normal. Did any of it really happen? What had Emily actually been doing all night?
Yeah, so I think what's going on, it's not very clear, but I think what happens is, depending on your actions, the Dark Man either is or is not real. So like there, if we had submitted to him, then he actually would turn out to be real. And that's how he captures us, and then we pledge our loyalty to him. But because we didn't, it's left in the dark. But you see there, the little girl said, are you alone, or is he inside there with you? So like, she knows something's up. She knows there's something more, which wouldn't make sense if it was just a figment of the cult's creation. Like if it was just a figment of Jeremy's imagination that the cult encouraged to get information about the ritual out of him, that would not make sense. So I think it's not made very clear, but I think it's depending on your actions, it either changes whether or not he is real. Be right back in a couple seconds. Let me just check on something.
I'll be back soon, Jeremy. Then we'll go back to the city.
How fun. I do like riding in the motor car.
Is there any chance he'll relapse back to his previous condition?
None at all. He is forever cured from all worries and other difficult feelings.
Alright, so he is cured permanently from everything.
Have you seen
At least he's not a complete vegetable.
I'm sure he's around here somewhere, poking and prodding.
Let's go talk to Ruth.
Well done, Miss Hartwood. You officially made Derceto the dullest place in existence again.
Oh, thank you. Happy to be of service. Have you seen Detective Carnby anywhere?
Still chasing that lovable palooka around, are you? I'm sure you'll find him.
Can I write to you when I get back to town?
You are too sweet, Miss Hartwood. I'll look forward to reading all about your tedious routine.
It's funny, you'd think she'd be thanked for returning everything back to normal, but apparently not. She's also wearing the mask from before. Now remember how I asked in a previous video if there was some less yay vibes between them. That's what they call it in the fandoms, in fanfic and stuff. You know, if there was that type of hint between them, well, she's actually referred to as a sexual deviant in one of her files, which I didn't notice or I didn't read enough into it. So yeah, she is a lesbian, and judging by how Emily is flirting with her a bit, I think Emily might actually be open to it. She hasn't been with anyone since her husband John died, so who knows. They also do escape together in one of the endings, but based on what's about to happen here in like 15 minutes or 10 minutes, Ruth is not going to be in any shape to be writing anyone at that point. How could she just sit on the stairs too? That thing looks way uncomfortable, just sitting on those metal stairs. Alright, let's go talk to this damn hag, the cook, who just is just shouting at everyone throughout the whole game.
Good to see you're still with us, miss. Are you hungry?
No, thank you. I'm still a bit woozy.
I would not eat that gumbo. That gumbo probably has human flesh in it.
Ooh, is that gumbo?
I make it every year. We set up a little feast by the wishing tree and start a new year together.
She spelled it with an O. Is that a way they traditionally spell gumbo in a different region, or is that just a mistype? Is that just a typo?
Have you seen Mr. Carnby?
I haven't seen him for a while. Maybe he left.
Yeah, that thing probably has human flesh in it. I wouldn't taste it, knowing these guys.
Looks like a storm's coming.
Radio says it could get real bad. Floodings and such.
You disappointed me, Batiste. I believed in you. I thought you were a decent guy, and no, you're one of them, just like everyone else. Everyone's in on it, even the little girl.
Get moving before the weather gets worse. Have you seen Detective Carnby?
Not for a while, but he said he's gonna wait for you.
Take care, Batiste.
You too, Miss Emily.
Yeah, things are about to go to hell in a few minutes. And you won't believe who the final boss is. I couldn't believe it when I saw it.
Do you know what's about to happen here?
Oh, just a little ceremony we do each year on the eve of St. John. We raise our glasses to the old wishing tree here and ask for a better year.
Is it all for show? Or do you actually believe the tree can help?
Well, I guess some of us do. I mean, Lottie and Mags are pretty invested. Taking it a little too far, you know.
Oh yeah, they're taking it way too far, as we're about to see.
Sounds like you might be in a cult.
Yeah, I can see how you think that.
Alright, that's it.
What are you doing?
Preparing for the ceremony. This time she will come. I'm sure of it.
She?
Who's coming, Grace?
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Go to the woods. The mother of 1,000 young.
Emily, shoot this girl immediately. Just pull out your gun, just shoot her right there. This is not gonna result in anything good.
I hope you find what you're looking for, Grace. Whatever it is that you need.
That's a terrible thing to say.
What she needs is an exorcism. Yeah, this is not a Lessa in Silent Hill where she was a victim of the cult. This is this little girl is fully into it. She is deep into that shit. And we can't hear the tree. Only Carnby can hear it. Which makes sense since he is the main character of the original game, pretty much. But look at this symbol right there. I think she was calling her crazy. Like, whatever you need psychiatric help. Grace, if these people weren't here, I'd put on my gun and shoot you right there. Because you're probably the leader of this whole group.
I almost forgot this was here.
The very heart of Derceto, you know. Almost time to call on her.
Her. Not it. Her.
What is it that you do? Is it like the voodoo rituals you read about in the papers?
I don't know, miss. I never saw one up close. My family has always been suspicious of the hoodoo.
Honestly, I take voodoo over whatever this is. That Lovecraft thing that's about to emerge. I easily take voodoo over that. Voodoo has some good.
Detective Carnby, have you?
No. And I hope he stays away. I don't think he would understand what is about to happen here.
Oh, he would understand more than you think. In one of the endings, I won't spoil it for her. Let's just say he definitely understands and actually doesn't disapprove of it. Wonder what happens if you try to leave. Oh, we don't have the key. Never mind. Yeah, we don't have a key. So we can't leave. Long engagement. How many of the sets did we complete? We're missing this one. All the Worlds of Stage. We didn't get that one. That was for the joke ending. I might try to do that sometime. Goat Without Horns. We didn't do that one. Death of the Author. We did not do that one. Crescent City. No. Heartwood Curse. No. So we're missing quite a few. Now it's funny, all this time that doctor has been telling us that it's all in his head, that there's nothing supernatural going on. Well, take a look about what's about to happen, and that see how much of a lying piece of shit that doctor is. This is it, the finale.
Everyone knows what to do. Y'all know the new words.
Mrs. Thompson, we talked about this. I'm not sure everyone is comfortable.
Doctor, I insist. This is important. We've waited for so long, Doctor.
Let's just go with the old song. Not every change is an improvement.
Boss, good or bad, we need to move forward.
All in, Doc. Let's bet it all.
But we don't know what we're dealing with.
It'll be okay, Doctor. Better even.
That's not good.
Ever their praises and abundance to the black goat of the woods. Hear us, brother. Take pity on us. Take pity on us.
Ever their
praises
and abundance to the black blood of the world.
Ever
Hear us and take pity on us.
Take pity on us.
hear us, brother.
Ever their praise and abundance to the black blood of the world. Hear us and take pity on us. Take pity on us. Accept our sacrifice and judge our work.
What are you doing? This is madness!
This here's what needs to happen.
She's just a child!
With 1,000 years!
Edward!
Get out, Emily! We're leaving!
No! There has to be a sacrifice!
Come with me!
Look at that, it's the fucking tree. Damn. So long, Batiste. And you, Dr. Scumbag. It's Tree-thulhu. God damn, look at that.
I have to stop that thing. It's gonna kill everything in its way.
Do we really, Emily? Do we really? Oh, look at that. Is that the doctor's legs or Batiste? Damn. Smash this one up, Lottie. Oh, damn. It killed our new Bootang right there. We could have had something with her. I guess Emily will have to find some new lady in a green dress to experiment with. Because that one ain't coming back. Damn, there's a housekeeper. You sucked, so I don't fear anything about you. You sucked. Got everyone except the girl and what's his name? Jeremy. Damn, Ruth.
Get yourself together, Emily. You have to finish this.
That sucks. Our new girlfriend, our forbidden girlfriend in the 1920s, just got wiped out by a giant fucking tree on legs. Oh, here's the doctor, that piece of shit. So those were Batiste. He ate half of them. I was laughing when I saw this. It's the freaking tree. It's Tree-thulhu. It's not Swamp-thulhu, it's Tree-thulhu.
Emily Hartwood arrived only moments later. Together they said farewell and left the people of Derceto to their St. John's Eve festivities. As Conby sat down in the driver's seat, he was filled with a sense of melancholy. Emily didn't seem happy, just relieved that they were leaving. And Jeremy just sat quiet, like a dog beaten into submission. As he started up the car, Emily handed Detective Conby an envelope with the money she owed him. He sighed, accepted the bittersweet end, and drove back to New Orleans.
So that's actually Cassandra Beauregard that's reading all the letters. I didn't know until I read it on the wiki. And I'm guessing this is the ending that she's dead now, but this is the ending that she thought was supposed to happen. But instead, since Conby shot out the sacrifice for the girl, he shot out the rope and the tree went berserk, so now it just killed everyone. Because you see there, everyone's still alive in the ending. They're just leaving there with Jeremy. So and Emily handed him the money she owed him. That was that. So I guess this is what Cassandra thought was supposed to happen. But then the tree went berserk and everything just went to hell. So we gotta stop Tree-thulhu now. If we can actually reach it. Where the hell did it go? Where the hell did it go? Oh, I guess we gotta climb upstairs. Oh yeah, we gotta climb. Do we really have to stop that tree? Shub-Niggurath, or whatever you call it. Can't the military in New Orleans deal with it? Do we really have to stop this thing? Let someone else handle it. Let the police do their job for once. I'm sure monster fighting is in their included duties. Come on, let the police deal with it for once. They can stop it, you know, once they pump a few hundred rounds into it and some napalm and who the hell else knows what, some fire bombs, they'll deal with it. Got a debris. Which one would be better, the debris or the pickaxe? Let's go with the debris. Let's make sure everything's reloaded. Because they're gonna throw a wave of enemies at us. They're gonna do that thing where the boss spawns minor enemies, so we gotta be ready. There it is, Tree-thulhu. Or Shub-Niggurath, whatever they call that thing. It's got Cenobite teeth, like the Chatterer. Get those bullets. You gotta target the pink stuff right there. This is so goofy. Where's the other eyeballs? Where are they? Ooh. Aw, damn, we cut off our ammo. Oh, god damn. Yeah, I hate when games do that. They throw the minor enemies at you. And they just serve as annoyances, basically. It's just to extend the fight. Resident Evil 4 Remake is guilty of that. Alright, let's skip this. We can skip this. Oh, I guess we can skip it. It's the intro. Almost looks like a mutated rabbit of some sort. Yeah, let's use the handgun because it's less useless than the other weapons, so we can afford to waste the ammo. Even though it's not as accurate. There we go. God damn. There we go. Is it finished? No, it's still alive. Maybe? Oh. God damn. God damn. Come on. Shit. Fucking zombies. God damn. God damn, there's too many of them. Ah, come on. Yeah, this... The problem is that they tend to gang up on you. It's just, and the fact that you have to start the fight all over again, that makes it worse. It's the stupid-ass spiders that are the worst. This is stupid-ass spiders because, you're trying to aim at the other creatures, but then the stupid-ass spiders are getting in your way. Like, I think we had it there, but then they started spawning that damn... Started spawning those fucking, those fucking creatures at us. Come on! Really? God damn! I hate those fucking things. And the fact that you can only have 2 fucking bullets at the same time, that's awful. Because it means... Look at this shit. Emily, reload the fucking gun. wonder if that crucifix does any damage or not. God damn, come on. Back off, fools. Come on. There we go. Finally. Finally. Got crushed under his own house. Imagine what the police will say when they go, they dig in there and they find that body. What the hell is this? They're probably referred to the military.
Emily, are you alright?
I don't understand anything that just happened. What was that?
The whole gang was a cult dedicated to something called the Black Goat of the Woods. I've been trying to gather as much information as I could. It was only after you started talking about monsters that I thought maybe there was some truth to all the nonsense I was finding.
Where's Jeremy? Uncle! Are you alright?
Everything is out of order. This isn't the way the story goes. I shouldn't be alive.
Don't say that. You made it out. Be happy. Okay?
Oh, who cares about the story, Jeremy? You made it out alive. That's all that matters to her.
Hey, kid. You doing alright?
It wasn't what I expected, but you can't always get what you want.
What did she expect? She thought it would be an actual lady, or... She had to have known it was the tree in some sort of fashion.
Ready to head back to New Orleans?
Come on, Jeremy. Let's go.
Can I come?
Don't leave her. You have to take her to Hell's Kitchen.
What on earth are you talking about?
So that's kind of him breaking the fourth wall there. That's him referencing that she originally lived in Hell's Kitchen in Alone in the Dark 2, and that was where she got kidnapped. And Ted Stryker, not the guy from Airplane, not the Ted Stryker, but Ted Stryker as in Carnby's partner, went to recover her and he got killed in the process, and then Carby had to go find her where she was at. And there was a whole deal with pirates, and you're better off reading the wiki. Hey, we reached a new tier. I think that's the PlayStation rewards. Let's see if we can get some gift cards for it. Some PSN credit. Yeah, there's a whole backstory involving pirates and whatever. Apparently the original Alone in the Dark, the guy in the original Alone in the Dark, the tree at the end was actually being inhabited by an evil pirate. It was the pirate that ran the shipping company that we came across during the port. He was the one that was originally running the he was the one that was running the cult. It was in his name, and then his spirit was placed inside the tree, and it was some type of voodoo, and it was just completely different from what this is. This is more like a combination of Alone in the Dark 1, Alone in the Dark 2, and Lovecraft. So combined into like a new thing. And that Shub-Niggurath, or whatever they call it, I won't even try to pronounce it properly. That's an actual real Lovecraft deity from his writings, and he only mentioned it once or twice, but then other authors expanded on it, and it is this horrible thing that lives under like the earth, and it has its own worshippers and stuff, and it's connected to Cthulhu and a whole bunch of stuff, and it gave birth to one of the other deities, so it's got a whole complex backstory to it. It actually is its own thing that ain't just invented for this game. So that was Alone in the Dark. It was a decent but not great game, man. It had a lot of potential, but it only ended up being decent rather than great, because I think it needed more time to cook. You know, it needed at least 6 more months, if not a year. They kept delaying it. They delayed it once, they delayed it twice, and they kept delaying it in the hopes, I guess, they would be able to put out a great game, and unfortunately it did not happen. Which sucks, because the series has a lot of potential. You know, based on what I saw here, we need more games like this, but the problem is... Oh, look at that Paul Mercier voice Jeremy Hartwood. Anyone else we recognize? Oh, Yuri Lowenthal, Mr. Waits. We recognize him. And he was Jacob too. Paul Mercier again. Oogie Banks? Or Ogie Banks? So it was mostly new voice actors. Those are the two I really recognize. But yeah, it needed more time to cook. It needed more time in the kitchen to fully bake and develop properly. Which is a shame, because like I said, there was some real potential here, and some of it got fulfilled, but then other didn't get. It went completely unfulfilled. You know, the combat was janky. It's not nearly up to the standards of Silent Hill 2 Remake, which is far superior to this. The gunplay and the melee, even though they're not ultra advanced in there, they're not Resident Evil 4 Remake type of melee and gunplay, it's still far superior to this. And I think the team just needed more time because they were inexperienced too. Like, this team had only made like minor, not mobile games, but they have made like only minor casual games before, and they were tasked with doing this sprawling epic remake of our classic survival horror series. And unfortunately, I think THQ North just did not give them the proper time or resources or mentorship they needed, because that's a pretty janky company in and of themselves, so they didn't have the necessary wisdom to mentor those guys. And they tried their best. What they did is impressive with the time they had, but they needed more. They needed more guidance, they needed more time, they needed more money, more resources, and unfortunately THQ just did not have that to provide to them, or didn't want to provide them to it. So the result, it is what it is. That's why the game came out unfinished, you know. And they needed to apply that day one patch, or like week one patch, that basically fixed like 80 issues in the game. I think it was at least like 60 issues, probably more like 80. And some of it was really minor stuff. Other stuff was actually major game breaking bugs and glitches. And you can see here in the last video I posted, by this time, once that video goes up, you'll see that again I ran into that glitch, and I tried my best to work around it, the bright light glitch, and I just could not fix it. And there's only one other person on the internet who's referenced it in conversation, and they just had to restart from before that chapter, so there's no work around that. So even then, they still didn't get all of the glitches, you know. Oh, Polish localization. I wonder how many areas they sold this in. French localization, saw German. So I guess it's available in quite a few countries. Japanese, Korean. Yeah, so they just needed more time and resources. Oh, look at that Brazilian Portuguese. it was a game full of potential. But like I said, when we first saw that demo, a lot of people pointed it out. Like the game resembles nothing like the demo is. So I think the demo gave people a false impression, and then on top of that, the game came out unfinished, and it looked janky in the trailers. It looked like the frame rate was off, and it was running like in slow motion and stuff like that, which is funny because it actually doesn't look like that way when you actually play the game. Performance mode actually works pretty well, and you can barely notice a difference in the character's graphics. Like I think the only real difference you notice is in Carnby's clothes, or Emily's clothes. Like it has more texture and like a cloth feel to it. Maybe like you can see the fibers on the jackets and stuff. That's pretty much the only difference. Everything else looks fine. So it's funny, the trailers gave like this completely incorrect impression of what the game would actually be like, and that pretty much hurt it more than helped it, because people got put off, and also the game got delayed so much that by the time it came out in March, nobody really cared. Everybody had moved on to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth or any of the other major games that came out around that time. Nobody cared. This was a game that really needed to come out around October for maximum effect. Maybe like November 1st at the latest, and it just did not do it. Look at that. That's a pretty creepy Lovecraft type art right there, with the tentacles of the tree looming all over the house. That last boss is goofy as hell too. Like it does look horrifying, like a Lovecraft creature should. But the battle against it is just janky with those extra enemies and how it moves. Like it just does not look cinematic at all. And I hate using that word because too many games nowadays are trying to be cinematic, but that's compared to like the boss fights I've seen in like Silent Hill, Resident Evil, or even other horror type games. It just felt unfinished. You can tell it's pretty rough. They probably should have gone one or two more stages of development with that boss fight. Oh, look at that, Black Forest Games, and it's what's that thing called, the Black Goat of the Forest? So that's an appropriate name for the development team, for that part of the development team. The mansion itself was pretty fun to explore. It is like how one streamer said, it does feel like its own character, like it's alive. Like the manor in Eternal Darkness, or like Silent Hill as a town. Even Spencer Mansion to a little bit, to an extent. It does feel like its own character, like it is alive in some respects. You know, especially compared to like Silent Hill or Eternal Darkness, where those definitely feature like fully living locations. This definitely offers more than a hint of that, and you can see it growing and changing as you progress throughout the game, with the rot spreading and stuff like that. This is a really cool location. I wish we had been able to explore more of this, that it had been a full-fledged temple instead of just that observatory where you just aligned it with the stars. That would have been a really cool location to explore. See what I mean? The game just had lots and lots of massive potential. It just went unfulfilled. And because the development team got shut down, you know, in today's climate, you don't get second redos. It's not like when Naughty Dog and Insomniac and all those teams started, where you could afford to have one or two bad games and keep going forward. Nowadays, the only team that's gotten away with that is Bloober Team, where they put out some bad games, and then they came out and put out an absolutely great Silent Hill 2 remake game. So they got a third and fourth chance, but most developers don't get that. Most developers are cut down after one or two failures at most. Like Rocksteady right now is probably on the chopping block for see, look at that. There's a cool boss art right there. It looks like a Lovecraft painting, and that's what the cover is. That's what the cover is for the game. So I never even noticed that before. The tentacles in the sky, and I'm looking at it now, and yeah, I never even noticed that was on the cover. The tentacles of the boss. So they were already telling us what the ultimate horror would be, you know, what the final boss would be in the game. It's right on the cover, and then I never even noticed that. I just noticed the lightning. So pretty cool detail there with that concept art. But yeah, most teams nowadays, if they fail once, they don't get a redo. You know, that happened to Arcane West. Is that what they were called? With Redfall, or was it Arcane Leon? I don't remember which. But yeah, so Rocksteady's probably on the chopping block for WB. If they fail with that Batman game, the new one, if that doesn't, well, the VR game is developed by someone else, but if they fail with their next project, they're pretty much done. You don't get a do-over nowadays, which is kind of a shame, because if, like I've said many times before, if you look at the histories of companies like Naughty Dog, not Rocksteady, but Naughty Dog, Insomniac, Capcom, stuff like that, they are full of failures in their very first attempts, you know, so you do have to give developers some leeway to learn. It's not like those stupid assholes on GameFAQs and Twitter and saying, oh, they made a bad game, just shut them down immediately. No, nobody learns that way, you fucking fool. Nobody learns by being shut down the very first time. If Bloober Team had been shut down after they made 1 or 2 games, we never would have gotten that masterful Silent Hill 2 remakes. You have to let people have some room to learn and improve as game developers. Otherwise, there's no point. You might as well just recycle every old concept and do nothing but Resident Evil games, remakes of Metal Gear games, remakes of The Last of Us, Horizon, and all that shit, and sports games from here to eternity. If you're not going to let people try something new, you have to give them room to fail. But unfortunately, this game flopped kind of hard compared to what they expected it would sell, and so that team is gone now. So this is probably, unfortunately, the last Alone in the Dark game we'll ever get. I don't foresee a series. I don't foresee a future for the series after this, unfortunately. Which is, like I said, a shame, because they introduced some really cool concepts here. They had the bones of a great game and of a great story. It just did not pan out. We'll talk more about it once I do the other endings. I'll do one or two more videos at least covering the other endings. Maybe even a playthrough of Carnby, but I don't have to wait, because I just watched someone complete that playthrough literally a week ago, so I'd probably want to wait until it's like further from my mind so we can just go over it again, you know. But I'll probably play it sometime. If not on my own, I'll definitely record it just to get some of his alternate endings. Carnby has one of the more really fascinating endings of the game, so I'd really like to show that off. But I'm still glad that I played this game, even though it did not turn out as great as I wanted it. Even though I'm glad I bought it at a discount. I only bought it for like $40 less compared to the $60 they were asking. I waited until it was on sale, and I waited until the issues had been fully patched so I could you know, make the game playable and not have to worry about all those issues with the enemies and collision detection and game breaking glitches. Like I said, the only major game breaking glitch I encountered was the bright light one. Other than that, it was mostly fine. Emily got stuck in a couple spots here and there, but we worked around it. So it was a shame that it really did need like 6 more months, and I think it would have been fine. They could have improved the combat, they could improve the enemies, maybe made a little more variety in the enemies, made the final boss fight not as janky, you know, made that last boss fight actually memorable. They could have made it memorable. They could have polished off the story if they just had 6 more months, and THQ just did not give them that time. But it's still a fun game. It's a decent survival horror game in an age where we're starving for decent survival horror games. You know, there's too many first-person, no combat crap games following Outlast and Amnesia and stuff like that. I don't bother with those. I don't fuck with those games because they suck. I haven't even started Alien Isolation yet, and I bought that game like 3 years ago from Five Below for $5 for the PS3. I haven't even started it yet. I'll probably end up downloading the remaster of it for free at some point before I even sit around to playing the original version I got on the PS3. So I don't like those games, and then I don't like the minor indie games either, like one like Tormented Souls, where it's an homage to classic survival horror game. That's fine. Those are fun. Those are good to play. I'm looking forward to Tormented Souls 2, but stuff like Signalis with its respawning enemies and it's like 2D look, that's intentional and not a product of its time. Like games like that, I don't mess with those either. Like it's just not for me. Or games where they're just all walking simulators and you're just exploring and there's nothing real going on there. There's nothing really going on at first or for like a long time of the game. I don't like those games either. So we're in an age where we need more games like the Silent Hill 2 remake or this or Tormented Souls and stuff like that. And it's a shame that this one got eliminated because Silent Hill has 2 more entries coming. So hopefully those do well, but hopefully those 2 entries do well. But even if they don't, at least we got the remake for 2 and it's pretty damn good, right? At least we got 1. And then Resident Evil always continues. You know that series it'll go on forever. It just goes on and it changes with every different iteration. Every new game is different. Every new sequel is different. Slightly different from what came before. So that series is going to endure forever. But so many of the other classics are gone. Condemned never even got a 3rd game. Fatal Frame is gone. The prospects of a 6th game do not sound promising. Like I said, we gotta wait months for Tormented Souls 2, and this could have been one more that we added to the list, and oh, now we have a survival horror series we can look forward to every 2 or 3 years, and no, it just did not work out, unfortunately. So it is what it is, but it's still a decent game. I still recommend it at a reduced price. I'd say anywhere from 20 to 40 is a good price for this, especially now that it has been patched. It has some DLC, but it's not really to my liking. It's mainly just texture packs to make everyone look like they did in the original Alone in the Dark back on the 90s PCs, which I'm not really interested in. I've taken a look at it. I don't really like that version of Carnby or Emily's. Probably less so Carnby than Emily. Emily's fine, but Carnby just looks goofy as hell with his giant mustache, like he's trying to imitate Henry Poirot from the Agatha Christie novels. I don't know, he just looks weird and goofy. I actually prefer the David Harbour version. He looks like an actual private eye detective with the solid build for it too. Like that Carnby looks skinny up top and wide in the bottom. He just does not look like a guy who could actually be a successful private detective. I just don't buy him at it as that. I know it's due to the graphics, but still, that's why I said I'm not really interested in getting that DLC texture pack, because there's nothing there. The one I might get is the creator's commentary to see what some of the issues they ran into were. That might be actually fascinating to play through on my own, the creator's commentary. So I'd say that one is probably worth downloading. But the game itself is, if you can find it for anywhere between $20 to $40, I think it's well worth it, just to play a classic survival horror experience with some jank, but it still has what is a pretty cool story and pretty interesting setup. And you know this game will be $25 on Black Friday. That's not even a question. You know damn well this game will be $25 for Black Friday or less. So if you get the chance, I definitely recommend picking it up for sure. I think you have a fun time with it, as long as you temper your expectations, you know. Don't expect a masterpiece like the Silent Hill 2 remake or the RE2 remake or even the RE4 remake. Just expect a nice, decent, slow-paced survival horror game. That's all it is. As long as you go into it with those expectations, I think you will not be disappointed. You'll be quite satisfied overall, even if you have a few issues with the game. You can now play with all weapons unlocked, deadlier combat, and some new surprises when starting a new game. So deadlier combat sounds like the enemies will be harder, which I don't necessarily like, but it says some new surprises, so maybe we'll get a couple bonus weapons too. That might be interesting. New Game Plus. That's another thing. Apparently, more and more games now are doing their new Game Plus modes as DLC, which is starting to piss people off, because that should be a basic feature of the game from release. And apparently, games like Spider-Man 2, I haven't checked it out yet. I haven't gone back to that game since I finished it, but apparently, New Game Plus is like you had to download it, and then RoboCop, you also had to download that one, and then obviously the biggest failure in survival horror in probably like the past 5 years, the Callisto Protocol, that piece of shit game, you had to download New Game Plus for that too. So people are starting to get pissed off that the New Game Plus mode that was once free, you know, you would get it at the end of the game after you beat it, like in Silent Hill 4 or Silent Hill 2, whatever. Now you have to pay for it, and or like wait until it's DLC to download it, and that's why people are starting to get pissed off at that. So that's not good, the direction the video games industry is heading in. But I'll try this on my own later on. Maybe we can do Carnby New Game Plus and see what that's all about. Alright, so there we go. Chapter 5, the end. We finished the game, we got through it. Total playing time was 9 hours, 59 minutes, and 37 seconds, which we know that is bullshit, because I had to waste an hour and a half like getting back to where I was. And that's not even counting the whole segments I tried to play where the bright light was just dominating everything and I couldn't see. But I was just trying to get through it to see if it would revert back to normal. We wasted those 2 hours too. So yeah, this is bullshit time. It was actually more like 11 hours or 12 hours. No, definitely 12, because this is almost 10 hours. So they said I played for 10 hours. It was actually more like probably 12 and a half to 13. So a decent length, I guess, if not for the problems we encountered, it would have been a decent length. Right now, the Silent Hill 2 remake I'm playing is probably going to end up being like 20 hours long, so it's way longer than I expected. And even though it's good, like you do have to take slight breaks from it sometimes, because just being in that other world environment for like 3 hours straight is kind of overwhelming. So you do have to take breaks from it. Like I said before, like I said in the Silent Hill videos, and also I think in the Resident Evil videos, the perfect length for a survival horror game, it probably is like 10 to 12 hours at most. 14 to 16 is okay, but once you push it past like 20 and you start getting to like 25, 30, that's when the game is too long for this type of genre. You do not want a Resident Evil game or Silent Hill game or any type of survival horror game that lasts 30 plus hours. This is not feasible, and it starts to become a grind at that point rather than scary or creepy. So you want it to ideally top out at around like 16 or 18 hours at most. Like I said, Silent Hill 2 Remake will probably be 20 hours, but that's because I'm taking my sweet time with it. But even so, like 16 to 18 is probably the longest you should aim for when developing this type of game. You really do not want to have a 30 plus hour survival horror game, no matter what the idiots on the internet tell you, because those are the guys who will be begging for hours and hours of mediocre content just to say they got their money's worth, and then they won't even play the damn thing again. So you do not want to go by their example. You want a nice compact to middle length experience that you can enjoy replaying over and over again, because that's the fun, in my opinion, of survival horror games like Resident Evil and Silent Hill. The fact that you can go back to them and replay them over and over again, whether it's for the gameplay or the story or the setting, whatever. I like the replayability of those games, especially a game like RE2 Remake, which is still one of my favorite games of all time at this point. Although the Silent Hill 2 Remake can definitely approach that for sure. But yeah, we finished Alone in the Dark. I'll do the extra endings later on, especially the ones where we show where we pledge submission to the Dark Man. That one seems pretty fascinating. And then we also have Carnby's ending, which is a pretty wild scenario, so I'll probably do that with his playthrough. I don't know if yeah, I guess we should probably do a playthrough for Carnby, just so we can do his whole story instead of just doing that one section, because he does have some pretty big differences in what his trauma are and some of the things he encounters. There are some pretty big differences there, so we should probably do a Carnby playthrough eventually. But that's it for now. I'm going to continue on with Silent Hill 2 Remake and Alan Wake 2, trying to finish up that game. I'm also trying to see if I can play Tormented Souls 2, because that game is pretty short, so it would only require like 2 videos. 2-hour videos would probably be enough for that game to complete it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the playthrough. I hope you didn't mind that I uploaded the segment that got ruined. Like I said, because I didn't see it referenced anywhere at all on the internet except for that one Reddit thread, I really want to show you that yes, this is what can happen. This is how it affects your gameplay, and it affects the boss fight, and this is how you can fix it, and this is what you have to be aware of. And like I said, hopefully it aids some people in avoiding that game breaking glitch, because as of so far I found no more information other than that one Reddit thread, which means that if you encounter it, if you've never seen that glitch before, you're pretty much fucked. Like, your game is pretty much screwed at that point. So that's part of why I uploaded that video, just to make sure that people have a reference point for what that glitch looks like and how to avoid it, and exactly what it does to your game. So I hope that helps you guys out, and that you don't mind too much that I uploaded the ruined video. I just put too much time and work into it, and like I said, I wanted to show you an example of what happens when that glitch breaks your game and you can no longer proceed, which is why it's a very, very good idea to try to avoid it at all costs. So yeah, overall decent game. I enjoyed it. It's not for everyone, but if you like slow paced, patient, story-based survival horror games, I think this is definitely for you, and I think we'll enjoy it as long as you get it between $20 and $40 for the game. I think that's the sweet spot. You want to aim for the price. You don't want to pay more than $40, and I think with Black Friday coming up, it should be good to go. If you see it on Best Buy or Walmart or whatever, Amazon, definitely pick it up for $25 or $30 if that's the price for it. It is well worth your time. So I think I've rambled on about the game long enough. Thank you for watching. As always, I appreciate anyone who checks out these videos, and I will see you again next time. probably on the Silent Hill 2 remake. Either that or possibly Astro Bot if we get back to that game, because we really need to finish that game too. So I will see you again next time on one of those two games. So see you later and take care, everybody.